Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you are all alive, healthy, and doing well. As always, I rarely but accurately post my videos. Today I have another video on the topic of construction, baby, and today we will talk about excavators and how to use them. Using this excavator, the Kubota K008-3 as an example, I will tell you the basic principles of how to use an excavator and how to operate it, giving some tips, and I hope this will help you. Let's start with the basic configuration of what an excavator consists of. This is a tracked excavator, weighing approximately 900 kilograms, a little less probably. It typically consists of a cabin, which in our case is open-roofed, so to speak. Fresh air is invigorating. It is tracked, meaning it has good mobility. This excavator is very compact and is designed for the smallest jobs. It can even fit through doors. So, if someone needs to dig something in a basement or cellar, this machine is probably one of the best or similar brands. In general, the bucket is this part, the boom of the excavator, the arm, and the tracks. We also have a blade here, and I will show you how to use it and for what purpose. Well, let's get to work. First of all, we need to get into the excavator. How to properly get into the excavator. This machine, by the way, is diesel powered and runs on diesel. How to open it. If someone needs to rent or buy one, there is a small hook here that we lift. Everything is located here as well. We also have a support handle that needs to be pulled to close the hood back. Now that we are back in the excavator, what we need to know first is that we control the boom with our hand using the bucket, usually with joysticks. No matter which excavator you get into, whether it's a small one, a bit larger, or the biggest one, they all operate with joysticks. So in this case, these are quite large levers. I can't say that they are very comfortable, but basically they do their job. Here we also have two more levers, specifically levers, which will be similar to those on larger excavators as well as on smaller excavators. In this case, they are located in the middle, just like everywhere else. In larger excavators, they will probably be positioned closer to the feet, but essentially, in the same position, you can also operate larger excavators using your feet. There are pedals located here that you press with your feet. This controls the movement, meaning each lever, left and right, corresponds to the respective track. So, if we want to simply move forward or backward, we pull both levers and push them up and down, according to their function. If we want to turn around, we basically just move them in the opposite direction, depending on which way we want to turn. We also have this lever here, which is responsible for the blade. So, let's start the excavator. We have selected the required number of revolutions. Now we will take fewer revolutions, not quieter. And let's immediately address the first and simplest thing, which is movement. We cannot reach our destination if we do not know how to move. These are our two levers in the middle, which control forward movement. In this case, since the blade is behind me, I am moving forward. But in fact, I am moving backward. Conversely, if I squeeze the two levers together, I move backward. This lever controls the rotation of the cabin. If we push it to the side, that is, left or right, the cabin turns left or right accordingly. We can turn around, but in a lateral position, we do not have such stability. Therefore, digging in such a position probably does not make sense. There is also one more point. There is a pedal at the bottom. By pressing it, we rotate our boom. Here it goes. This is necessary. We suddenly need to dig in some narrow space, perhaps around the outline of a house, and we will need to excavate. What does the up and down movement do? We have only 4 positions, left, right, and up, down. It's the same here. There is no intermediate state. We turn the cabin left and right in order to adjust the direction. The arm works up and down and also moves as well. That is, we lift this part and lower it as a result. In the future, we will need to learn to combine all of this. But you will only succeed with practice. That is, you will need to sit and feel it out. Here we have the left-right bending and straightening process of the bucket. And the up and down lowering and raising of the mechanical boom, a process. Here, next, we will need to adjust the RPMs a bit. Also, let's pay attention to the blade right away. This button is basically a lever which moves up and down. Here it is. It rises and lowers. Here. In this small excavator, the blade acts as a counterweight, meaning that the center of gravity of the excavator is distributed in such a way that we need to lower the blade down to prevent the excavator from tipping over when we are digging, because all the weight will be behind us. Well, in general, let's dig here. We have soil mixed with stones, so it probably won't turn out great, but we'll see. Here we scooped up the soil, and basically we are releasing the skin, and it has spilled out. That is, when we scoop, we move forward and backward. So watch my hands. This is what I am doing. In principle, the digging moment will be clear to everyone in practice. In other words, when you start digging, you will essentially feel all of this. That's what I wanted to say. If you still want to level the ground, this bucket is still designed for digging. You also need a wider, flat bucket for leveling. It will help you to compact and flatten the ground properly, so to speak, and smooth it out. That is, in this case, the bucket should be positioned a little, so to speak, off the ground. And this movement needs to be practiced by everyone. It is essentially like digging. It is precisely the skill to smoothly maneuver the bucket. Without digging, that is, we are leveling the area, meaning we have already filled it with soil as needed. This movement is the most important because when you are, let's say, digging a pit, you cannot excavate the soil and then throw it back if you have dug a little too much. So you will definitely need to try to do something with this so that the ground remains, so to speak, filled with their bearing qualities. That is, when it is loose, it will not carry anything for you. Accordingly, if you fill it all with gravel, then these are, so to speak, additional expenses that you are likely not accounting for. In other words, this movement is the main movement that you need to learn, whether you are digging or not. That is, you can even do this in the air. The key is to learn how to smoothly hold the piston above the ground. That is, you need to move along the ground before you start digging. That's the movement. And just in case you are digging, you then bend the bucket, as you can see at the end. So you scoop up the soil, and it goes, and at the end you tilt it. That's it, you took it, lifted it, and dumped it. If we are digging, we also try to dig very, very, very deep. And in the end, we have scooped it up. We have a full bucket of soil. In this case, a very small bucket of soil. And also later on, if you, for example, are digging with this movement, you can nicely spread everything back out. And so, let's say we moved a little closer. In this case, I am using the rotation of the boom. And so I press down well. Also, of course, you can simply compact somewhere using the bucket like this. So, this is also a workable option, in principle. What else can we use the blade for? Now I will turn around. How can I turn around right in place? That is, I will show you the turn right in place now. Both levers simply move in different directions, and here we are turning around. Look, it's very simple. The tracks can also be used to compact the soil. That is, we drove over it, and we started to compact it. How else can we turn around? The second turning option, perhaps we lift. And here we are, turning with the joystick, rotating the cabin, and pushing with the bucket, essentially squeezing ourselves to the side. In this way, we can definitely turn around in a small area where there may be a lot of rubble, and it won't be possible to turn around easily. Of course, it's difficult to do this on a small excavator. For this, I usually use the pedals and control the tracks with my feet. What else can we use the blade for? We can also use the blade as a leveling tool. That is, as a means of leveling. So what do we essentially do for this? We simply lower our blade and, controlling it, move backward. Going forward, you can actually push something, but planning the movement forward is quite difficult. In other words, it's easier to move backward and plan. Here we plan and lift it to places where we no longer need it. That is, where we have already done all the leveling. Basically, I have shown you the main things about operating an excavator. I hope this information will be useful to you. What else can I say? The biggest and most significant enemy of the excavator operator is probably overconfidence and haste. If you believe in yourself, you sit there, and I have been operating the excavator for a long time, checked my phone, got distracted, and started to work faster. This won't lead you anywhere in principle, just like driving a car. That is, if you've noticed, when you overtake someone, you all end up meeting again at the traffic light. In other words, you shouldn't rush. It's your biggest enemy. Try to do your work carefully. I hope this information has been useful to you. I hope someone even uses this information in their life. If you haven't encountered an excavator yet, perhaps one day this situation will catch up with you. You might buy a house and realize that hiring an excavator operator could be more expensive than renting an excavator. And on top of that, it's all really fun because we are all kind of raised on gaming consoles and we all enjoy it. It's quite a satisfying process when you see that you're digging something and then everything beautifully takes on new features and shapes. If this video turns out to be, let's say, successful and gets a lot of views and likes, I will record how to operate a larger excavator, which is even more fun, with a more wonderful and interesting cabin. So, subscribe to my channel and leave comments. I really enjoy reading these comments, even if they are not great. Just please, guys. And follow me on my Instagram, Medwerk. There, I post my videos where I operate excavators in situations that are not meant for excavators. Basically, sometimes something can lift your spirits. So follow me on Instagram, subscribe to this channel, and give likes, and stay tuned for new videos. Thank you for being here. Until we meet again. Bye.